Smoke that rip and wrap. A little bigger fish here. You can tell when he's thumping, right? Oh no, he's just average size. Nice chunky jumbo. Cool. Good way to start us out. Tony, Roach, and I are fishing in his Yeti fish house today. Ooh, we got a double. We're fishing northern Minnesota perch. Hopefully get a few giants. These are just average eater size ones. But man, we're talking fishing in style and comfort. You want to be fishing in a wheelhouse that's stylish and comfortable. It's a Yeti. We're going to talk about how to catch perch late winter and talk about fishing in a wheelhouse and how to do it better.
That's right. Oh, here we go.
Oh, man. Oh, just roaring in. That's awesome. Another double. Oh. There we go.
Oh, it's
nice average size.
Yeah, when they come in, I mean, you see them on camera and they're just like tigers, you know, they try to beat each other to the bait.
You know, their stripes are all lit up, their dorsal fins are straight up. Beautiful fish.
Well, and because these fish roam so much, you know, it's really important to have a bait down there. You know, get it down there as quick as possible before that school moves on. You know, they're just kind of roaming on these flats, you know, feeding as they go, trying to stay away from predator fish. And it seems like if you leave your baits out of the water too long, boom, they're just gone. You don't see them for a while. They continue to move on.
You've got a bucket of minnows in your wheelhouse, use them. Put fresh shiners on your rattle reels. If you're putting rods in rod holders, like I like the St. Croix Deadeye rods, I'll make sure that rod tip is just twitching with that live minnow. That whole minnow that's hooked through the dorsal fin down there indicates to me that that minnow is alive, wiggly. It's going to trigger more strikes from those fish that come into the cone.
Man, I don't care how old you are. Watching them on camera, Raj, is just a blast. Unbelievable. Nice looking perch too.
Yeah, that's
big belly. What I love about the camera is you learn so much by watching the camera. Just their movements, their moods, and then of course the size structure of the fish. You know, we've seen small perch come in, we've seen schools of smaller perch come in, but to get these bigger ones to come in is always key. And then you can see what they want. You know, if they want it when you're hitting the silt and pounding the silt, if they want it that way, or if they want it raising up in the water column. You know, perch feed all over in the water column. They feed off the bottom, they're feeding on bugs up high. So just being able to see that with your own eyes is very, very helpful. I know using cameras has made me a better angler.
Yeah, we've got a pike down there, and he's kicked our school of perch out. He doesn't look to be too big.
Well, and you know what? If you're seeing pike while you're fishing, that's a good thing, especially when you're pan fishing. Because every good spot where I find bluegills, crappies, perch, there's always pike lingering around.
But they can affect the bite, right?
Correct, especially in a wheelhouse setting where we're sitting here. You know, if that pike continues to kind of patrol the area, it's going to keep those perch at bay.
The style and comfort that Yeti fish houses provide really is second to none. Tony, talk about some of the features in your Yeti that you like the most.
The first thing that sets Yeti apart from the rest of the competition is their all aluminum frame. That's nice for being light, it's stronger. It also makes more room to fish inside the Yetis. And then of course the fit and finish is second to none, from the stainless steel fridges to the fireplaces, to the bait wells, to the well thought out designs of sliding countertops to access compartments even if you have gear on there. And then of course there's really 3 different core models that you can kind of set up the way you want. You know, if you like toy hauler models, Yeti has that. If you are looking for more of an RV edition with bathroom sinks, that sort of thing, we've got that. And then of course the angler editions like I like using for guiding. I like this footprint because it's really nice for what we do on the ice every single day, and that's move people around on fish. I love the push button hydraulics. What's cool about that is with the push of a button, I can move this house just as fast as I can move a portable. And then from a year-round perspective, if you use your Yeti for camping. It's so nice to not to have to deal with crank downs or jacks, to be able to just push a button, drop your house, and you're set up camping. It's a really, really awesome tool. Well, Roger, we had a blast this morning, caught a ton of fish in the Wheelhouse.
Yeah.
As the sun got high, they quit cruising. You know, a lot of times we use the Wheelhouse as a base camp, and then during the day, get out and hole hop. It's a beautiful day. I say we get out here and hole hop, and then we'll come right back in the afternoon, or maybe we'll stay out ice trolling, huh?
Well, sometimes you've got to chase those fish, right? When they're not moving as much during the middle of the day, you can sit hunker down and not catch as many fish, or you can get out there and explore, stay on those schools, stay mobile, catch more fish. That's our objective.
Well, yeah, and it's a huge flat out here, and
Yeah.
obviously we're cruising this morning, and that's pretty typical. I don't care if it's perch, walleyes, panfish. Mornings and evenings are super aggressive and active. In the afternoons, you got to get on top of them, and you know, rather than waiting for them to come to you, you get right on top of those fish, and
Let's do it.
let's go smash a few.
You know, I've been fishing with Tony for almost 15 years, and he's kind of known as one of the forefathers of ice trolling, right? Where you're really mobile on the ice, drill a lot of holes, and we don't spend very much time in any particular hole basically checking it. You drop a active presentation down there. I've got a rip and wrap on. You pound it a little bit down there. If you don't see fish within a minute or two, you move to the next hole, and you just keep moving along until you find them. Ain't that right, Torn?
Here we go. I've literally drilled about 50 holes. We've covered at least a quarter mile or more. But that's the thing about perch, man. They're always roaming, they're always swimming. I always joke around and say it's a fish that I love to hate, because walleyes relate to structure. Perch can be anywhere, right? They can be out in the basin, they can be on top of the flats, they can be nowhere and everywhere at the same time. It's no joke. There's another one. They are just thick down there. Look at my graph. I mean, they're following my zoom all the way up. Look at that. That's what I call a Christmas tree. I mean, they're absolutely loaded. I was literally 10 feet from this hole and there's nothing. And then boom, that's perching in a nutshell. It looks like there's all sorts of sizes here. That's why it's nice to stay on the move. It's like you gotta land on that hotbed of them, whatever they're feeding on. And it's always evolving, it's always changing. Sometimes they're cannibalizing themselves on young of the year perch. Other times it's bugs, sometimes it's snails or crayfish, and a lot of times it's whatever's most available. Look at that, just one after another after another.
Another little chunk. He's about frying pan size. Tony and I are using a variety of VMC and Rappel lures to catch these perch. I've got everything rigged on St. Croix custom ice rods, a couple of perch seekers, and I've also got a search bait rod. I'll let Tony talk about the St. Croix rods because he had a big hand in designing these rods, the powers and actions that work perfectly for these perch. But using a lot of natural perch patterns today. I've got a VMC rocker and a tumbler spoon on, and then also a perch colored rip and wrap. I've got a couple of red Eurolarv on the front hook there that really imitates closely the orange fins on a perch. And since they are cannibalistic, you can match the pattern of those little perch and they'll eat each other. Really productive to use these natural perch patterns, especially when these perch are feeding late winter like this and they're gathered up in these big schools.
Like Roger said, the perch seeker here is one of my favorites. The fact that you have carbon blended with glass to make the perfect perch rod. You know, most perch rods are a noodle type of rod. Well, when we're out here hole hopping like this, you know, the problem with noodle rods is in the wind, they're always blowing in the wind. They don't support like a spoon type of bait, whereas this has A very, very sensitive tip, but the backbone starts right in here. So you got great hook setting power, regardless of what you're using. This rod is fantastic for using spoons, but you could also fish a tungsten real easy on this rod. You know, it's crazy to be able to use that type of material, those types of technologies, to really build the perfect rod. There we go, that's a better one. They're just all mixed in, all year classes down there. They're obviously aggressive. It's trying to keep it away from the smaller ones and trying to feed the bigger ones. Roger's got another nice one over there. This is what I love about hole hopping or ice trolling right here is all that work you put in to try and find fish, and then boom, you land on the mother lode, the school of schools. Nice one, Raj.
Well, mobility really paid off for Tony and I today. If there's one thing you can take from today's segment, if you're chasing perch, we probably covered a mile on the ice today trying to land on the school. It would have been easy to get discouraged and say, there's just not any perch here, or they're not biting. We finally found them and got into a nice bite, mother lode, a nice perch today. So stay mobile when you're chasing those perch, put more fish on the ice. I'd like to thank Tony Roach for cutting all those holes for us today and fishing with me as well. I'm Roger Cormier. We'll be right back with more Midwest Outdoors.